Cue frame 13, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Both players have enjoyed their mid-session interval. O'Sullivan shared the opening 4, and that's what he'd like to do this session as well, to go into the evening session leading by 10 frames to 6, as long as you don't lose the session. Neil Robertson, of course, his aim is to win 3 of these last 4 frames. Sometimes breaks off with a loop bridge, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Didn't in the opening frame of this game, but he has done in the first frame after the interval. He tends to feel he can get a lot more side by swinging it around 2 cushions playing that way.
There's a possibility you can pot this red and cannon the red away from the black.
Positional shot, very aggressive positional shot. Well played.
He'd looked the shot on, but he still had to make that tremendous long pot, and that will certainly inspire Neil Robertson.
9. Like
most of these top players, when they're knocking the long pots in, the confidence grows very quickly. Struck this perfectly. Had to pot it in the middle of the pocket. He'd have missed the cannon otherwise.
$16. 17.
Well, Neil Robertson obviously would have been quite pleased at the mid-session interval to have pinched the final frame. But he could have gone obviously 9-3 behind, but wanted to take it to just 4 frames behind.
24.
He's looking very confident now.
25.
Slightly different style with the break building of Neil Robertson. He's
33.
O'Sullivan probably would have been trying to spread the reds out by now if he'd had an opportunity, or at least looking for it. I'm sure Neil will be trying to do the same thing, but he's taken the open reds first of all. Now the chance here.
40.
Need more side on the black. Well, not now, he won't. He had a slight kick on that. He's taken, what, 2 inches out of the run of the cue ball, so have to play for another single red. Not a great pack there. The pink is off the spot, so splitting the reds off the blue is not easy. Perhaps pink could be the best option if he gets the chance. He's just gone a little bit too far.
48.
He could play here to pot the red. Possibly cannon the back of the reds there.
Got it.
Looking to fair out. I don't know if he's got the angle for that. Well, he's got the hook rest out. You see it turns round the ball rather than playing over with a natural spider. So you can still use the normal rest head. He tried to avoid the pack there. He didn't
49.
try and slip into that red, and now he's out of position. Shame there, it's all blacks. So he just touched the red, and that's enough to take it into the black. Safety only now.
Yes, Terry mentioned in commentary that he break builds unlike
Robertson,
some of the other
49.
players, and you can't imagine after 8 reds and 8 blacks, sorry, 6 reds and 6 blacks, that Ronnie O'Sullivan or Hendry wouldn't have had the bunch wide open. But you don't blame him for being a little bit cautious, because he's got to get back into this match. If he can, like I say, win this session 3-1, to be only trailing 9-7 going into tonight's session, he'd have done very well.
Neil has mentioned in his press conferences many times that he's trying to improve on his break building, because he's got a great temperament, tremendous potter. His safety is good. He's won 2 tournaments this year, 2 ranking events, the only player to achieve that in the last few seasons. What he lacks in the break building department, I must say, he makes up on the other side of it. He's a winner.
There's the kind of shot that he wanted to play. The red that's highest, the one that's nearest the blue, is that I don't think he'll pass. He's looking at a possible plant, but he can just get through to it. But he's 49 points in front. Now, it looks from there, it's a certain. If the white was near the middle pocket, I would agree with him taking it on. But if you take this on and miss it, yes, he's not taking it on, but he's going to have to move it, because Ronnie O'Sullivan will take it on. He's 49 behind.
Yes, if he's not taking the plant on, he's got to get somewhere near that circle to stop Ronnie O'Sullivan taking the plant on. If he's got a red here, they can play a safety off and dislodge the plant. You won't have to do that, but it's tricky to get over that side of the table. Well, he didn't play for the left-hand side of the table. He's played a very good safety shot. Now Ronnie's looking at the plant. Can you get through pink and blue? Surely not.
And looking down the line, it's very, very close to being able to see whether he can get through the gap there, but it's very tough. It's tight, but he looks like he's going for it. We're going to have to swerve it a little bit. That could be under frame.
Did he go for that, do you think? He didn't have a safety shot on that, to be fair to Ronnie. It was he was trapped a bit, and with the plant then it's very difficult to turn it down. And I agree with you, Will. You could only just about see the point of contact on the first red. He was always going to spread the reds all over the place. You see he played with a lot of top spin, hoping to get the cue ball in and out of the area with no black on.
Seven. Eight.
Seemed easy, that one. The white was tight on the side cushion, had tough shots, and he does pot really well when he gets going. All types of pots seem to come the same to him. Great asset, that.
11.
Do you remember Perry Mons from South Africa? Will he runner up here in the Crucible in 1978 to Ray Reardon?
Yes, and he actually won the Masters at Wembley, Perrymans, and never made a 50 break. Can you imagine that?
12.
Well, I can, but don't think you can, will he? No. But he was a tremendous potter. Left-hander as well.
Yes, still alive, living in Johannesburg, and doesn't play anymore.
18.
This is game ball. In it goes, so Neil Robertson's got
19.
another frame back. Robertson not winning frames
Robertson,
at one
19.
visit,
On
but
the
borrowing
frame.
snookers, and Ronnie decides to acknowledge defeat in that frame, so Robertson's pulled another one back. He now trails by 8 frames to 5. Ronnie was in a situation a few moments ago where he could just get through to the plant, and the only thing you could question really is the pace he played it, because he didn't really give the red a chance, even if it had even if it had jawed. He's given it an almighty whack, and of course what he's trying to do is play with loads of topspin to push through those 2 reds. Now you'll see the topspin take charge, and it would have been right up near the blue and pink bar for those series of little kisses, but of course that was the end of the frame. Robertson just needed 20 odd points from that position to win it, and that's what he did. I saw Ronnie backstage after the opening 4 frames, and he said he wasn't happy with the way he was playing. He said sometimes I'd rather be a couple of frames behind playing well than 2 each and not playing so well. But he had breaks of 105,
14,
36, 68 during the first 4, so it wasn't too bad.
Yes, Neil Robertson is starting to pinch a few frames, I call this. He's not getting in there, as Willie said, and sort of making big breaks, but he's a few visits, a lot of good pots, and in one way that can be more disruptive to his opponent. If he was getting in there and knocking 80 in straight away, I think Ronnie would accept all that, but Ronnie has had a few chances, not many, it'd be fair to say. Didn't score a point in the frame, but he had it. He had that plant, which I don't suppose you would call a chance. He's never happy though, Ronnie. Is he, Willie? He's very demanding of himself all the time.
If only you realised how difficult the game was, Terry. That's the key with me. Ronnie seems to think that unless he makes 70 or above every frame, that he's not playing well. But it is one of the most difficult games in the world, and he's blessed with an abundance of talent. And he's got to remember, not only is he having to play well himself, he's got to stop his opponent playing. And sometimes you can't help it if your opponent plays well.
Didn't get too close to this pot. At least the black is tied up on the pink. He'd do well to make a 70 from here, will he? But he's so good at dislodging balls, isn't he, and splitting, bringing pinks and blacks into play here when they're safe. That was a beautiful shot. Had to play that perfect. He's now, well, almost certainly going to go into the pink.
And it's definitely correct, Terry, but a lot of players would play for the 2 reds to the right of the black to get the black into play. But that just shows you the difference of different players, different ways they break build, and in playing that, Ronnie must have felt he's short of being the pink out, which he has done.
6.
There's about 3 players in the game who would have played that. A lot of players would have played for the 2 reds below the black spot to get the black back on its own spot.
Seven.
It looks from here as if the pink doesn't spot, so it'll go on the black spot. Ronnie's going round to have a look, and well, the pink spot is free. Now then, is that close enough to the red to tie the pink up? If it is, Ronnie may play a different shot here and try and bring the black into play. Oh, that's a good shot again. Willie's mentioned how many times we see with the Sullivan. He's played a shot there, he got a lot of backspin on, and again he tried to clear the reds away from the pink spot to clear that up, and
13.
a little unlucky there. Needed to catch those fuller, and he was guaranteed to be on other reds, and the pink would have been open.
It was a quarter an inch away from being perfect, wasn't it, that? Good recovery though.
14.
Green or brown available. It's actually got harder work now as this break has gone on rather than easier, because both pink and black out of play at the moment. If the yellow wasn't where it was, he may risk going into the bunch from the brown, but where the yellow is, it's difficult to do that. Excellent try again, but unfortunately for him, gone astray.
18. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 18.
Well, that's one of the best 18 breaks I've seen. He really had to play some pots there. He really did. He played 3 or 4 shots there to try and create something, try and make something happen, and nothing did.
Well, after all those attempts with the Sullivan to bring the pink into play, Robertson has brought the black into play now. Very good safety shot. This is the red he's playing, whether he's playing it thin or swinging round past the black. It's a choice. Well, he's fluked it and he cannoned the black, so he obviously mishit the red.
1.
Could say he's a little unlucky to finish down in the yellow pocket after a fluke, will he?
Unlucky after a fluke. I think the green's the best ball to play safe off here and just bring the white tight on the cushion. Here's the safety shot he was playing, and you can clearly see he caught the red half ball for that to go in. I think it's key here to get the cue ball tight on a cushion. Ronnie's such a good safety player, you can't leave him with his hand on the table. One option is the green half ball and try and put the ball tight on the cushion behind the brown spot area. Maybe if he wants to take the yellow one in the middle, but that's very risky. You never know with this young man.
I think if the natural path of the cue ball is missing the black on the way down, it makes the shot a bit easier. Come off the bottom cushion, otherwise you're going to have to play with stun. Well, he must have a plant on. He has got a plant on. He didn't see that one, that's why he potted the yellow and came up the table. The two just to the left and below the pink are available in the right corner.
Well, in fairness, that was an excellent shot on the yellow. It really was, because he'd spotted the plant, played it as a definite pot to leave that plant on as a shot to nothing. Played it perfectly. As you know, when I say in commentary, you get what you deserve sometimes, and whatever he scores now, he deserves. Albeit the red, well, the break was started with a fluke, but since then, that was very good. Oh, that's very
9.
careless. Very careless. Such a big target to swing the cue ball around 2 cushions for choice of black or blue. And of course he's caught the red. End of break.
Is that the best 9 break you've seen here at the Crucible, Willie? It was pretty good, wasn't it? A fluke, a tremendous yellow, a plant. It had about just about everything in it.
I think Ronnie's 18 was better, to be fair. But it's been a weird frame, hasn't it?
Robertson,
It really
9.
has. Is it time for a Robertson special? If it's not straight, he may decide to play it as a run-through safety, shot to nothing, but if it's straight, it's tough. Just a little bit of an angle there. He can play the pot it and run through for blue or bought colour. Doesn't like it though.
He'll have to catch this red thin, the one just past the pink there. Well, he's been lucky there. He didn't play it that way. Played to catch that red much thinner, miss the black and go back up to the left of the blue as we look. But he'll take it. Ball's running well for him at the moment. Certainly worth a try, that one. If you got it, he's in amongst them. If you missed it, it's the only red he could have left. And as it turns out, the red is you can see it here, it's one far out. The red came back across though, near the pocket, but it's gone close enough to the right cushion to stop Neil going for it. What I like about both these players, Willie, they're positive, aren't they, with their shot selection all the time.
Yes, I think that's key. If you've got any aspirations of ever winning anything, you've got to be positive. And some players tend to be a little bit apprehensive at times when they get here to the Crucible. Here's a place that you either live or hate. When you're playing well here, there's no better place. When you're playing bad, it can make you look extremely silly. It's the weirdest venue we have, but undoubtedly the greatest venue we have. 2-table situation, as you see the screen very, very close to both tables, very tight, very compact. But atmosphere like you've never known, and shots like that is what they come to see. That was a great pot.
Seen a bit of psychology here with both players. O'Sullivan took the red on previously because Robson turned the previous one down, and now Robson's going to go for that all day because he knows Ronnie's Mr. in the pocket, and if he gets it, you get an edge on your opponent.
They have to play a cannon here. I don't know whether he can get onto anything by just running it through. And he needs to play a gentle cannon, not at pace. Yeah, well played. Deserves something to happen there. As it happened.
6.
Well, for a second, I didn't think that was in. I was just about to say, no, it's not there. And it just clawed its way in. There, I don't know how it went in.
It went in because they changed the cloth, didn't they, yesterday, and that would have wobbled earlier in the week. You put a new cloth on, you get that little bit of help through the corners because the cloth's a little bit newer, obviously, a little bit thicker on the nap. That helps a little bit of slide into the pocket off the corners. Only if you're playing it gentle.
Wonder whether you can just roll the pink in slowly and still leave the red to the right of the pink that's available, or will he have to play the little cannon onto the blue? He's left-handed, so he will be able to reach the red even if he does cannon into the blue. I'm not too sure whether he can play it slow enough to hold the white. He's now playing a deep screw on and off the cushion. No, played a cannon the blue, which is the only way he felt he could hold the cue ball. Blue spot covered with the white, pink spot covered with the red and the black spot. Up on the green spot it goes.
14.
Now, may have been a little reluctant there myself to play for the black because it's going to go up onto the blue spot, but he feels that that's no real problem at the moment.
$21. 22.
Good choices here. You'd like to get one of the reds off the pink or black spot so that after potting the black, of course, much easier to play for it down this side of the table where the reds are.
29. $30.
There's no problem with the black now, of course, because it goes on the pink spot, so definitely a chance to win the frame now at this visit. He's going to need one of the two difficult reds that are on the cushion. The two open reds with blacks would only put him 42 points in front, so we need one more red.
37.
He's just doing a bit of maths there. I suppose he goes 44 in front if he gets two reds, two blacks. So he's still in a position where he can win the frame without having to play one of the difficult ones.
38.
So it's a must here to pot the next red and black to give himself 44 in front with 43 on.
$45.
Neil is just looking at the scoreboard to check the score, trying to get the white between the two reds and back for the black.
46.
Nothing fancy, just made sure of the black.
53. Neil Robertson, 53.
53 then should be enough for Neil Robertson to win this frame.
Yes, Ronnie entitled to carry on the fact that he just needs the one 4-point penalty snooker, but he's facing a tough little snooker to hit himself. As long as that red doesn't pot, he'll be happy with that. He's got a chance now to try and gain the upper hand on the safety, but he may be in trouble after this next shot. It's an easy safety shot for Neil. Red towards the other red where it is now, and white hopefully behind yellow or brown. It's a little bit dangerous putting the red towards the corner. The only reason I say that because Ronnie would pot this red if it was on. Only if he could play black or pink. But But I think he's hit it in such a position that he can't pot it. Yes, there you see, it's not available. He's not really made his mind up here, Ronnie. Anything could happen here. Robertson with no heroics with this riddle on the cushion, just drop it in, but be careful to pot it.
One.
He's all over anyway, but just to make sure. Pots a difficult black in the middle. Well, almost potted the last red as well, but it doesn't make any difference. That's 53 there from Andy Robertson. He's put it back now. He's just 2 frames behind at 8 frames to 6.
And Ronnie just taking a breather. He's lost the last 3 frames on the trot, and we'll pick up commentary when he returns.
You frame 15.
2 frames of the session to go, and Neil Robertson at this moment in time leads the session 4-2. He'd have come in this session thinking, well, if I can win the session 5-3, so he just needs to win one of the remaining 2. 2, of course, is a massive bonus. Poor break off to start.
One.
Obviously paid for the pink there in the left corner. Actually, he was going down for the ball colours, but mentioned in the previous frame, the balls are starting to run good for Neil. He needs it, of course, he's behind. But sometimes that can be the difference between 2 players. You see this shot again, he's going to come round the back of the black, down for the ball colours, just clip the red. Perfect on the pink.
Could hold for the black, of course, but he's going to have to play it very gently. I think Neil's one of those players who prefer to play a little bit more at pace, and I think it's a little bit dangerous playing with the west and the extension to hold for a black. Probably a little bit more value going around for pink or maybe the green. If he'd just got his own cue without the extension on, I think he'd played nicely for the hold, but it's a tough shot with a long wrist. Yes, there you see that he felt it was too tough to play for the black, so it's all about avoiding the baulk colours here when playing the pink.
8. 14.
Just had the angle on that red to slip through for the black. It is close. You're kind of in the middle of those three reds now.
What a difference an interval makes sometimes.
22.
Robertson was just hanging on to the match really in the opening 4 frames. He won
23.
the first, lost the next 2, and probably could have lost frame 12. Managed to pinch it with a late succession of a couple of low breaks, and he's now looking very, very good indeed. And it goes without saying, one more frame means he's only going to be 2 frames
30.
behind worst way going into tonight's session. Not beyond the realms of possibility, he could be all square. Very, very good performance. The beauty of it is, Neil,
31.
he's not frightened of O'Sullivan. A lot of players tend to be a little apprehensive when they're playing Ronnie. You can see that Robertson's confidence is gaining shot by shot. And at this moment in time, looking the better of the 2 players.
$38. 39. 46. 47. Yeah, okay.
We'll have a lot of those sort of slightly bad contacts, not enough to throw the pot offline, but enough to disturb the intended position. We'll see here now if Neil is still got, well, he's pretty straight on this. Playing that with reverse side and done a pretty good job of it.
54.
Well, he's found the gap, has he? Well, that's tight. If he finds the gap, he can stay down on the black. He's still got another red, but he'd have to go up for the pink off that one.
Yes, that opens now the other 2 reds, so there's now a chance of a century for Robertson. His highest break so far in this match has been a break of 87.
62.
I think he's going to eclipse that here.
63.
We mentioned earlier he's had a little bit of run of the ball in the last frame or 2. And some people think all the Australians are lucky. No skill, of course. Well, he's been unlucky there, but on the other hand, the pink could have thrown offline with that kick he had here, and he could have been out of position. As it turns out,
69.
pink managed to just about. You can see the reaction there. He thought he'd missed the pink. It just went through the corner, and he's still on the red.
Yes, and of course it would have been a chance for O'Sullivan to get back into the frame. The fact that it's gone in now just needs the red. And well played, Neil Robertson.
70.
The audience are a little bit stunned what's going on here at the moment. It appears that Ronnie, amazingly enough, has played the better snooker in this session, and he's 5-2 behind. Doesn't necessarily work out, does it, that one?
76. 77.
May play an exhibition shot here. Brown into the 4 reds because he knows the frame's safe. This is a plant on, and of course he'll try and play for that. He could screw the pink in and get onto those 2 reds in the middle if the plant is on. He feels it is. He's taking the pink, screwing around 2 cushions. We'll never know whether the plant's on. A wide was signalled from Robertson, but what a concession is signalled from O'Sullivan. Robertson's made breaks of 49, 53 and 77 in the last 3 frames. The winning streak goes to 4 frames and trails by just 1 at 8-7. things can go wrong sometimes, and there was a chance here that Robertson was only one pink and a red away from winning the frame, Terry, and all of a sudden he's playing this pink, nice little roll through, doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. All of a sudden when he plays it, he thought he'd missed it because he knew he'd got the kick. The cue ball squared up a little bit and slowed down, and you see his face there. He thought, well, the pink's going to hit the near jaw, but luckily for him it actually dropped in and he finished okay on the red. But we'll show you the shot with Hawkeye. If he plays it properly, of course, the white just runs through very, very nicely, and the red's a certainty. He still got down and potted the red to win the frame, and he's right back into this match.
Thank you. Final frame of the session. Neil Robertson to break.
I'm much happier. Neil Robertson breaks off here. Last frame of this session. In the second round, it's 25 frames. 2 8s and 1 9. These two players will be finishing off this evening, and if Ronnie O'Sullivan doesn't win this frame, he would have lost this session 6-2, so they'd be all square.
Yes, I think in some ways this is a bigger frame for Ronnie O'Sullivan than it is for Neil Robertson. The fact that Ronnie will feel that he's played well enough to at least tie the session, and Neil Robertson now has got first real chance, and he's off and running again. A chance for that 6-2 scoreline that Terry just mentioned. What a result that would be. And what a session tonight. You'd have to book early to get in for this one.
8.
Doesn't seem too long ago when he was 8-3 behind. So great credit to Neil for the way he's performed here. May not be as silky as O'Sullivan in full swing, but he's got his own way of doing things, and has served him very well this year. Well, he's been slightly unlucky. I don't think you can see reds down the bottom side of the table. The red by the blue, I think, goes past the yellow. If he wants to take that on, he's got an option. Don't think he can get through to that one. Now the one below the white, second off the cushion, is also an option. Now he's having another look past the pink. Well, he can't get to it.
15.
He deserved a little bit, you know, of running there, because that was a great split. You can see the reds, well, they're all moving, apart from 2.
He's just one shot away here from making this a chance to win the frame, and that is at some stage getting rid of the red to the left of the black. Until then he's having to work very hard for these.
23.
Not on the pink, he'll be disappointed because he played with check side there and hardly got any on at all. He played the white inside the red and it's gone outside the red. There you see no side. Luckily for him, he's just hit it slow enough to be able to get onto this pink in the middle. And now that's on its spot. He's got a chance to level at 8 all.
The foundation of Neil Robertson's success this year with 2 ranking tournament wins is his potting. And when he is break building, if he slips out of position and leaves himself something awkward, he just keeps stroking it in, and that's disruptive for his opponent, because they feel, well, hold on a minute, he may be out of position here, he may break down, and then he knocks another one in, and keeps your hopes up for a second, and then knocks them flat again.
$36.
Yes, as I said earlier, the opening 4 frames, he was just hanging on in there. This next 4 frames, he's played great.
37.
I just love the way he's not frightened to play anybody in the game at the moment. He's full of confidence. When he first came over to this country, he actually resided in Leicester and played at my club for the first 18 months or so. And he was an impressive potter, but didn't look to have anything else, and he's improved. I think he's the most improved player I've seen for many years. I never thought he was going to win a tournament when he first came to my club.
42.
The last couple of years he's improved out of all proportion.
He's never been short of confidence, I'll say that much. He's when you speak to the lad, he's a very nice lad, very mannerable. Oh,
43.
you need another good pot here if he's going to take the black on. It's the only colour he can see. I mentioned earlier about carrying on his breaks with tough pots. Surely he's not going to take that on, because if he does, he's leaving Ronnie O'Sullivan a great chance to get back into this frame.
It's very risky, this, and it's such an easy safety shot to flick the black on the cushion and go around the back of the red on the side cushion into baulk. But if it goes in, it's the right shot. The wrong shot if it doesn't, the right shot if it does. Well played.
50.
It's very
51.
unusual to see an Australian with a lot of confidence, isn't it? Talking, of course, of cricket this week, and Australia won that, and people call them, well, they get all the luck. It's a bit unfair, that.
58.
Everybody gets a share of luck at times. It's just how you handle the luck, what you make out of your own good luck, and how you handle the bad luck you get when you're out there. Doesn't matter to this man at the moment.
66.
This is superb snooker, Willie.
It's not like I've seen Ronnie play anything badly, really.
67.
You know, he's in the first frame, he missed more shots than he has done in the next 7. But this last 4 frames, he's only scored 18 points. Totally outplayed.
74. 75.
Chance to eclipse his high break of the match so far. He made a break of 87 early on in this match.
82. 83. 89. 90.
That's how he's played so far. Century possible. If he gets it, it'll be the 38th of the tournament to date.
97.
First, though, for Neil.
98.
Well, fantastic century from Neil Robertson. What a match we've got our hands this evening.
105.
They're going to be all square.
$106.
His quick fire stuff. 7 minutes the previous frame. 8.5 in this one.
113.
And the high break is on. He's a bit disappointed with his position. Oh, another great pop.
115.
140 available. The top break at the moment is held jointly by Ken Doherty and John Higgins with 135.
118. 122. 127.
Brilliant exhibition of Mark Snooker on potting.
133. 140 on the frame.
The black goes in. It's the highest break so far in the tournament, 140. But more importantly, Neil Robertson's won the last 5 frames. He's back from 8-3. It's 8-all overnight. It's going to be a great final session.